Welcome everybody for another episode of Cook Like a Champion. Today's episode is all about your loved ones, and if you don't have a loved one, love yourself. In today's episode, I'm going to be showing you how to make authentic Louisiana Cajun frog legs. I'm Chef Champion. Let's bring cooking back the way it used to be. Welcome to the new age of culinary learning. To get started, I have these awesome looking little frog legs over here. I know you guys are wondering where to get it from. There's a little meat market right here in Appleton called Nemeth Southside Market. They have all of that exotic stuff that you're looking for. Rabbit, I think I saw in there. I saw some alligator, and I definitely saw these frog legs. So now you can leave them together, but I like to split them apart, and that way I have its own individual leg. So I'm just gonna take this knife and just crack it right there. So now I have two nice frog legs. Repeat the process. So the first thing we want to do is we want to season them up really, really nicely. So I'm using this Cajun season. There's a lot of brands out there, so feel free to use whatever one you want. If you're not a fan of the spice, you can definitely use a little salt, a little pepper. Works well too. And then we'll just turn these over. Make sure we season them on the other side. Now I know you guys are wondering, are frog legs really romantic? I live in Wisconsin, but in Louisiana, they are actually really romantic. They're actually, like I said before, they're a delicacy because they're so small. And if you marinate it right and cook it right, oh my goodness, you'll never know you're eating frog legs, trust me. Just don't tell her that it's frog legs. Just say, I got something very special for you. You can tell her after the night is over. All right, and now for the remaining garlic, I'm gonna put it in my mixture and my flour. And I'll do the same thing with the Cajun season, half and half. A lot of times people forget to season the flour. I'm a firm believer that you should season everything that touches the product. So we have our 1 egg. Give that a nice little mix. And then we'll add in our buttermilk. So I'm using I'd say about a cup of buttermilk. You can use regular milk, you can use any kind of milk liquid that you want, but down south, the buttermilk just really just adds and gives it a nice rich flavor. Mix that up nicely. So what you want to do with these is you actually want to let them marinate. I marinated these overnight. You want to at least let them marinate for at least 30 minutes. A couple hours would be great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these frog legs and add them to a Ziploc bag. Always important that when you're marinating something, you use a Ziploc bag. And I'm gonna take probably about a quarter of that and just put that right into the bag, just like so. And then I'm gonna mix those frog legs up really, really nicely to make sure that it's really nice and coated. And then always remember, allow all the air to get out of the Ziploc bag. Roll that up nicely, just like so. And make sure you have a nice seal. Then I'm gonna put this in the refrigerator. All right, so now as you guys can see, I let these marinate for almost 24 hours. The marinade really is gonna help taste out the gaminess. Frog legs don't have a lot of gaminess to it, but by soaking them in the buttermilk, it really helps tenderize them and make them taste that much better. So before we get started, very important, the cooking mechanism, which is an electric deep fryer. To try and do this in a regular iron skillet, you can do it, but it tends to be a little bit tricky because you can't regulate the temperature. So I have this Chefman deep fryer set at a perfect 350 degrees. So now what I'm gonna do, I have a little bit of that Louisiana hot sauce. I'm gonna add all that to my liquid batter. Give that one little mix. And then if you don't like a crispy batter, you can go right into the flour and right into the oil, but I love that nice crispy batter. I'm gonna treat this no different than my fried chicken recipe. So my first dip is gonna be right into the flour. And you don't wanna smother them, you just wanna lightly coat them. And then shake off all the excess flour, and then we're gonna go right into our liquid batter. And we're gonna repeat the process with all 4 legs. Isn't that a sexy leg, you guys? I'm just saying. Maybe it's because I'm from Louisiana, born and raised, baby. All right. And I'm using just regular all-purpose flour. By all means, there's tons of flours out there. If you're gluten intolerant, they do have gluten-free flours out there. They don't work as great, but something like coconut flour or maybe even a bread flour would work too as well. Just Google it, do your research. I'm pretty sure there's something very good out there that you can substitute for regular flour. So now, as you see, I got a nice coating on there. You have one wet hand and one dry hand. Very important that you don't put the wet hand into the dry batter, because then you'll make your batter all clunky. So then I'm gonna take that frog leg and dip that right into the flour and coat that nicely. And then I'm gonna drop that into the deep fryer. Now, because I have such a small deep fryer, I can even use a healthy oil, like maybe an avocado oil or a grapeseed oil or something like that too as well, because I'm not using a lot. And then we're just gonna repeat the process until I get all of those frog legs in there. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and put this last one in there. We're gonna take a little break. All right, welcome back. So, before you guys left, we went and we made our deep fried Cajun frog legs for your special loved one. You have those right there. And we're just gonna put those to the side and let them cool.